I love this topic. The purpose thing. I just want let me say a little bit of like how I see purpose, because that's
Yeah.
such a big word in what you sent me. And
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to kind of explore that and see if we're sort of on the same page with that. Um, in my past life, like how it looked was, okay, I have to figure out my purpose. And I need to figure out what my purpose is, first of all, which is really hard because I have to dig it out from somewhere or go find it from somewhere out in the world. And then I need to figure out a way to like bring this purpose to life. Like that's so, it was so much on me. You know what I mean? And that's one of the biggest gifts of this understanding that we know is like that whole thing kind of shifting to be like, that's a mind-led purpose. That's like an intellect-led purpose, which there's nothing wrong with, and there's a time and place for that. But this whole thing of almost just like letting something arise from within, and then it still takes us. It still takes our intellect and sometimes our hard work and our discipline and all that good stuff. But it's like following the flow of something and knowing that it's in there wanting to break through totally changes the game. It changes how we hear, what we hear, how we listen for it, how we act on it, all of that. So I guess that's what and I don't know, I just want to check that with you and see what's consistent, what's not with your group, with the audience and stuff. But like purpose being something that isn't something we come up with, but more something that we hear, and it sometimes looks totally different than what our mind is telling us it should look like. Sometimes purpose is like in Eat, Pray, Love, when God says to her, go back to bed. Sometimes purpose is like, time for lunch, take a break. And that's your purpose in that moment. And sometimes it's gigantic,
Yeah. So interestingly, I mean, it's been interesting to have this conversation among us because everyone has had a little bit different understanding of the word purpose, right? So when we started this, I use the phrase on purpose frequently, which is really about mindfulness, right? Or really about being connected to whatever the current experience is, and bringing my attention to that, and being on purpose. But there's also this conversation about purpose, um, uh, almost our entelechy, sort of what given that we are in human form, and that this whole human experience has a sacredness and divinity to it, what am I doing here? kind of thing, and what is this all about? And why would it matter that I'm even here?
Yeah.
So I had that same sense that you did about, I have to have a purpose. And I interpreted that as my actions in the world.
Yeah.
And as time has come by, I've realized that my actions really could have been anything. It's the place inside of me that I come from, right? And I think that's what you're talking about. Is that right?
Yeah. So in a sense, like our purpose, if you want to say it that way, is being on purpose in the way that you were thinking of it. It's like that moment to moment presence and openness to what's unfolding in a little moment to moment way. And sometimes that shows us something big and to work toward, but often it's like just that, like what's here right now.